They messed up on a good thing, and now you're gone. They can come back your way. They can try to find you, but they never will. You'll be gone. They did too much. They did all three. They canceled, they sabotaged, and they forfeited a gold mine and a treasure chest called you. They canceled you. They called off the plans. They stopped the event and they stopped the service. They voided a legal contract. They boycotted you. They sabotaged you and the relationship. They intentionally damaged it. They had full knowledge of what they were doing, and they did it anyway. They intended to block you. They intended to destroy. Isn't that like the enemy? To kill, steal, and destroy. They wanted to prevent your success, to block your flow. Sabotage is an act of destruction done on purpose. They forfeited you. They lost their rights. They lost their possession. They lost the privilege of being with you as a consequence for doing wrong. They lost you because they made an error, committed a crime, and they did a violation. They did a voluntary surrender of you and your heart. And why would they do all three of these? Why would they do something like that? I believe it is their complete lack of understanding, their complete lack of knowledge for who you actually are. They didn't realize that you were a gold mine and a treasure chest. They didn't realize these three things about you. First of all, you were solid gold. Secondly, you had deep value. And third, you had lots of variety. They didn't realize that you were solid gold. You were pure gold and not fool's gold. You had been tried in the fire and you had come forth as pure gold. They didn't realize that you were pure gold. You have very few impurities because they have been purged out of you by the Holy Spirit. You are 24 karat. They just did not know what they had. They didn't know that you were quite an investment. They didn't realize that you were highly sought after. You were a gold mine. You had a lot to offer. You were very helpful. Being with you would have been profitable in more than one way. And they just didn't realize what they had. They didn't want to do any gold mining. They just chalked you up as being buried, not realizing that you were hidden. You were hidden because you had great value. You were priced far above rubies. Being with you, being beside you, them having you next to them would have brought them favor from the Lord. And they didn't realize what they had. This is what made them cancel you, forfeit you, and sabotage you. They did not know what they had. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. They mistook you for fool's gold. They mistook a Proverbs 31 virtuous woman, and they canceled you, they sabotaged you, and they forfeited you in exchange for a Jezebel. They went after fool's gold. They went after something that was shiny. It looked like the real thing, but it wasn't. Real pure gold is actually soft. This is why you are the weaker vessel. This is why you are fragile. Real gold is soft, pliable, but it's still strong. Fool's gold is a brassy yellow metal, mostly iron. It's often mistaken for pure gold, but there's nothing like the real thing, baby. You're solid gold because you're steadfast and unmovable, always abounding in the word of the Lord. The second thing about you that they did not know is that you had deep value. When you think about a treasure chest, it is actually chock full of treasure, chock full of gold. It is an accumulation. A treasure chest is where kings and queens keep their wealth. Treasure chests are often hidden. There's even been stories of treasure chests found underwater, found underground. Treasure chests typically have locks on them, well protected. And unfortunately, since they did not recognize their deep value, they canceled you, they sabotaged you, and they forfeited you. What a shame. A treasure chest is an accumulation of wealth. It's a secret stash. It's private property. It's a storehouse. They didn't realize that you had deep value. There was nothing surface level about you. It's unfortunate that they did not want to take a deep dive. They did not want to do a day of discovery on you to find out your true value, your true worth. Instead, they chose to throw you away, and it's definitely their loss. The third thing about you that they did not realize is that you had variety. You had several different qualities about you that made you unique. You had lots of good traits. You had lots of good fruit to offer them. You had an abundance in your treasure chest, an abundance in your gold mine. Prosperity was there. You had wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You had kindness, meekness, temperance. There was all sorts of variety in your gold mine, in your treasure chest. You were full of great ideas, full of information, full of beauty beyond measure. Beauty in more than one way, in more than one area. And that's what they wanted to cancel. That's what they wanted to sabotage. And that's what they wanted to forfeit. What a shame. All the things that they wasted their time trying to chase behind your back was right in front of their face. They went out looking for a gold mine and ended up finding gold diggers. They left wholesomeness to go find harlots. They left genuineness to go find Jezebels. They left a treasure chest to go find torment. They had no idea who you are and what you're worth. They had no idea of how to recognize what was in front of them. They freely let go of something that they should have held on tight to. They never knew your worth, but you do. So hold on to it and don't let them take it from you. Regardless of how they treated you, regardless of how they made you feel, know that you are valuable and you are worthy. They traded in pure gold for fool's gold. They traded in dark for light. And now that you know your worth, make sure that they don't find you again. Stay hidden and stay protected.